Hey everyone, welcome back to Film Odyssey channel, your go-to spot for deep dives into classic books. Today, we're diving into The Shawshank Redemption. Let's get into it. The Shawshank Redemption opens in 1947 Maine with the trial of Andy Dufresne, a soft-spoken young banker accused of murdering his wife and her lover. Despite his repeated claims of innocence, the circumstantial evidence is overwhelming: a recently purchased revolver, his car spotted near the scene, empty liquor bottles and cigarette butts linking him to the lover's cottage. The jury convicts him, and the judge calmly sentences Andy to 2 consecutive life terms in Shawshank State Penitentiary, a fortress-like prison whose granite walls and iron bars symbolize the weight of institutional despair. On Andy's first day, the new fish are marched across the yard while veteran inmates mock and wager which one will break first. The narrator, Ellis "Red" Redding, watches from the bleachers. Red is the prison procurement man. If you want cigarettes, a chess set, or poster of a pin-up queen, Red can smuggle it for the right price. Red's opening voiceover, laconic, weary, darkly humorous, establishes the key perspective: Shawshank may grind men down, but inside its routine there is a fragile economy of favors, rumors, and tiny freedoms. Andy initially seems ill-suited to survive. Slight, reserved, he carries himself as though still wearing a banker's 3-piece suit. That aura of dignity makes him a target for the Sisters, a gang of predatory inmates led by Boggs Diamond. Over months Andy is beaten and assaulted, yet never surrenders his quiet defiance. He surprises Red by seeking a small rock hammer for shaping chess pieces. Red warns it could take 600 years to tunnel out with such a tool. Andy's half-smile plants the story's long arc mystery. The turning point arrives during a spring roofing detail in 1949. While tarring the factory roof under the watch of brutal Captain Byron Hadley, Andy overhears Hadley complain about an inheritance that will be swallowed by taxes. Risking a fatal beating, Andy steps forward and coolly offers free financial advice, explaining a legal loophole that would let Hadley keep every penny. The guard nearly throws him off the roof, but Andy persists and closes the deal, asking only that his fellow workers receive cold beers for their labor. As the men drink in the golden light, Andy sits apart in silent contentment. In that moment Red realizes Andy's superpower, the ability to carve a pocket of normalcy inside hell, reminding others they are still human. Word of Andy's accounting prowess reaches Warden Samuel Norton, a Bible-thumping disciplinarian who quotes scripture while running Shawshank as his personal fiefdom. Norton transfers Andy from the laundry to the library, ostensibly to assist the elderly librarian Brooks Hatlin, but really to build a covered money laundering operation. Using decoy ledgers and a fictitious identity named Randall Stevens, Andy launders kickbacks from prison industries, local contractors, even the guards' tax returns. To the warden, Andy is a tool to be used, yet Andy leverages the post to expand the neglected library, writing weekly letters to the state senate for funds. His persistence pays off. Crates of discarded books arrive, followed by an annual budget. With books, records, and adult education classes, Andy turns the library into Shawshank's beating heart, a place where lifers study for diplomas and dream beyond the walls. Parallel to Andy's ascent is Brooks's quiet tragedy. After 50 years inside, Brooks is paroled, only to find the outside world alien and terrifying. Unable to adapt, he hangs himself in a halfway house room, carving "Brooks was here" as his last testament. The episode foreshadows the peril of institutionalization. Shawshank can not only imprison bodies but erode the capacity to live free. Andy responds by playing a Mozart duet over the PA system, an illegal burst of beauty that stops every man in his tracks. 2 minutes later the guards drag him into solitary, yet the aria lingers in the inmates' memories, proof that some things are too beautiful to cage. In 1965 Shawshank receives Tommy Williams, a cocky young thief whose arrival injects new energy. Andy tutors Tommy to earn his high school equivalency. In return, Tommy recounts a tale that shatters Andy's world. In another prison, Tommy met an inmate who bragged about killing a golfer and his mistress while the banker husband took the rap. For the first time there is concrete evidence of Andy's innocence. Andy carries the story to the warden, believing Norton's piety will compel him to act. Instead, Norton, fearing the collapse of his laundering empire, orders Hadley to silence Tommy. During a staged night exercise, Tommy is gunned down in the yard. The official report says he tried to escape. When Andy confronts Norton, the warden throws him into the hole for 2 brutal months and burns the evidence. But the incarceration only steels Andy's resolve. Upon release, he sets in motion a plan 2 decades in the making. Every night since 1949, Andy has chipped away at his cell wall with the harmless-looking rock hammer, hiding the debris in his pant cuffs, letting it sift into the yard during daily exercise. When posters of pin-up actresses, Rita Hayworth, Marilyn Monroe, Raquel Welch, cycle over the years, they are not mere decoration, they conceal the widening tunnel. One stormy night in 1966, Andy dons the warden's bare shoes, crawls through the completed shaft, and drops into the prison sewage pipe. Smashing a main line with a stolen rock, he times his crawl to coincide with a thunderclap, slips into the effluent, and emerges outside the walls in the cleansing downpour. 13 miles of foul drainage and a stolen prison truck later, he crosses the state line carrying Norton's ledger and forged ID for Randall Stevens. The next morning, Norton's crimes splash across newspapers, as banks receive withdrawal orders, signed by Stevens, emptying every laundered account. Police descend on Shawshank, Hadley is arrested, and Norton, cornered by his own hypocrisy, commits suicide. Meanwhile, Andy follows a compass left beneath an oak tree to a volcanic glass box of cash and instructions, an escape fund he buried before incarceration. He heads for Zihuatanejo, a nowhere Mexican fishing village with no memory. For months Red hears nothing, then receives a blank postcard from Fort Hancock, Texas. After 40 years, an aging Red finally earns parole but dreads becoming another Brooks. Remembering Andy's request, "Find that oak tree if you ever get out," he journeys north, discovers the cache of money and a letter inviting him to Mexico, no strings attached. Red breaks parole, boards a bus south, and the narration shifts from resignation to tentative hope. "I hope the Pacific is as blue as it has been in my dreams. I hope." Andy Dufresne, a Portland banker framed for double murder, Andy arrives at Shawshank with a shell-shocked calm that masks fierce intellect. His defining trait is quiet resilience. He absorbs brutality yet refuses to surrender self-respect. Key turning points include offering tax advice on the roof, transforming the library, and masterminding his escape. Each act converts private skills into collective gifts: beer for crewmen, books for inmates, justice for the oppressed, aligning him with the novel's theme that hope is a renewable resource. Ellis Red Redding, serving life for a youthful homicide. Red is the consummate pragmatist, cynical, resourceful, resigned. His narration balances wit with rueful wisdom, making him the reader's surrogate. Red's arc moves from fatalistic acceptance, rehabilitated. That's a politician's word, to rekindled belief, sparked by Andy's friendship. The parole board scene in which he finally speaks honestly about guilt marks his liberation from institutional language. Audience empathy rests on recognizing our own potential for both regret and redemption. Warden Samuel Norton, outwardly devout, Norton embodies corrosive power. He weaponizes scripture: "Put your trust in the Lord, but your ass belongs to me," to justify embezzlement and sadism. His facade cracks when Tommy's testimony threatens exposure. Killing the boy reveals how far he will go to protect status. Norton's downfall, clutching a revolver beneath the gaze of the very Bible, that hid his slush fund, underscores the narrative's condemnation of hypocrisy and institutional rot. Stephen King's novella, and the celebrated film it inspired, endures because it reframes the prison break trope as a meditation on time, conscience, and the stubborn persistence of hope. Its prose is unflashy yet measured, allowing characters small choices, sharing beer, mailing letters, shaping stone, to accumulate mythic weight. By letting a guilty man, Red, re-evaluate guilt through an innocent friend, Andy, King exposes the grey between crime and character. The closing image of two old convicts on a sun-bleached Mexican beach affirms that liberation is ultimately interior, a quiet, defiant decision to keep imagining the Pacific's impossible blue. If this book recap didn't put you to sleep, smash that like button and hit subscribe. Film Odyssey.